and welcome to my channel. I'm Kim Chamberlain, the Canal Town Stitcher, and thank you for joining me and coming back to my channel. I am a channel primarily about cross stitch, but I can talk to you about any craft that I am in the mood to do. So I also crochet, I quilt, and I knit sometimes, and then I bake and cook too. So that's something that I've just recently started getting back into since being away for a little while. But welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you decided to stop in and spend a little time with me today. It is really sunny out, so I have a lot of light coming in. The light that you see on my glasses is actually a window that's across the room from me. But I don't want to shut any of the blinds because I'm afraid that you won't get to see my pieces all that well, and I really want them to shine for you today. It's been about a month since my last Flosstube update, so I'm excited to show you what I've been working on and to go over some like Christmas plans for you. So I would like to welcome you all back, those of you that are new. I am a 4th grade teacher that has just transplanted from Western New York, just outside of Rochester, New York, to Jacksonville, North Carolina, and I have been loving it. Those of you who don't know, if you're new, I have 4 kids, one senior this year that's 18, a 16-year-old, I have a 14-year-old, and I have a newly 12-year-old. So my husband and my oldest son are still in New York State. My son is going to graduate from there, and my husband is going to work at his job until that happens, and then he's going to transplant down here. And then I happen to get hired really quickly down here, so I happen to be the one to make the move first, and we wanted to be down here for the kids to start school. So I have my junior, my freshman, and then my 6th grader with me. And so it's been a little crazy because my husband goes back and forth to New York, and I just put him on a plane today back to New York, but he'll be back again in a couple of weeks for Thanksgiving, and then I'm going to go up for 2 weeks at Christmas, so you know, it won't be so bad. But that's kind of our little life story right now. Grace has been so busy with marching band and has been doing such a good job. I'm very proud of her, and the other 2 have been doing just fine as well. So all right, so in the last month, I have worked on a lot of Halloween projects. That's primarily been my focus. I had a goal that I really wanted to meet with one of my projects, and I didn't quite make it, but I did get kind of close, so I'm pretty pleased with that. And I'll be working on it again next year as I start setting up my new WIP goals. So since I last spoke to you, I do have a finish, so I'm very happy with that. And then I can go over WIP Go and what the 2 new numbers that came out were, and we can kind of talk about what my plans are for November and December. All right, so to start us off, let's start off with my finish. So this is Night Flight. It is by the Prairie Schooler. I stitched this on 32 count Patriots Brew linen. I think it's Swigert. It's got a orange line on it. I think that's what makes it Swigert. I haven't ironed anything. So the only change I made to this was that I did not put the white in her eye. I just felt like it didn't need it. And then I did make a mistake on the border, but it didn't do anything except leave a little less margin at the top and the bottom, so it worked out okay. And I do want to get more of these, so I really like them. So I do plan to get another one of these witches and stitch another one. But it came out so good. So there's my one finish, my first finish in a while actually, since before the move. Okay, next up are my WIPs. My WIPs are works in progress. So these are the projects that I'm working on currently, stitching on currently. I just recently got my haircut today. It's looking prettier than it was. I had COVID back in August, and I've been losing my hair in like huge clumps, and so it's a big concern for me. So I'm actually quite happy that I got it cut, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit easier on it. Anyways, I have several works in progress that I can show to you. Let me start with my smaller ones. All right, let me pull up the picture for this one so you can see it. This I got out of a, I think it was a 2012, or not 2012, the 2021, right numbers, wrong order. Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition. And I get them from my Readly app. So let me go into $20.21. Yep. So this is called Blackbirds on a Pumpkin. It is by Rosewood Manor, or Karen Kluba of Rosewood Manor. And it looks like this. And I loved it. I fell in love with the blackbirds. Like the red-winged blackbirds. I used to have a bunch of them up in New York. I apologize for the glare of the window. All right, so here is my progress. Working on this mid-stitch, must be. But here's my progress so far. Now, I didn't realize this, but I made a mistake on the color, on one of the colors, but I actually ended up liking it so much better. And I'm hoping to have this done by Thanksgiving, so I can call it done for a second one. This is on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha Even Weave. So I love it. It's coming out really good. The next one, that I don't know where it went. It might be downstairs, actually. I think it actually is. I'll go down and get it in another minute or so. All right, so the next one is another one from my Readly app. This one is called Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. This came out of the 2022 Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition, so there it is. And again, I really apologize for those windows that glare. I don't know how I'm going to finish this little guy. Honestly, I'm not very happy with how it's turning out, but maybe as a small, like, little pillow or something. I don't know. Maybe a flip fold. I've yet to do that, so maybe I might get to do that. Let me just hold this up here. Anyways, that's where I am on that. I'm doing this on 32 count limestone, even weave, Lugana, whatever you want to call it. All the called for DMCs. So it's cute. I don't know. I wasn't happy with the back stitch. I feel like the two, maybe it's too much, because it called for 2 strands, and I think it's just maybe too thick. I don't know. All right, next one is, oops, it's not the cover again. This is the cover. Tonight is Halloween. This is by Kathy Barrick. Really like this one. I was hoping to get a little further on it than I actually did before Halloween, but that's okay. It's going to show up probably on Whipco. this is where I am now. Oops, get that straight out of the way. Get out of there. This is on Whisper 32 count Belfast linen. And I really, really like it. It's coming out really, really, really well. At first I thought the ghost was a little too washed out, but it actually is not. It actually is really cool. I don't have much for margins on this because I messed up when I started it, but that's okay. It's turning out all right, so I think I'll have enough room to like at least frame it. When I frame my cross stitch, I don't lace it. Next one I can show you is this one. This is called All Hallows Eve. It is by Little Dove Designs. And I got this right off of Etsy. They're Etsy. I just love it. Give you a little. It's like a little banner. And I started this on Friday. And I'm not too happy with the way that the cobweb is coming out. I had to take some out and put some back in. For some reason, I am terrible with that type of like back stitch. Try to take this out a little bit so you can see it. Anyways, this is on 32 count Alchemy by Picture This Plus. Belfast linen. And there's my progress so far. I really like this. I'll probably work on this some more tonight. So, I love it on this variegated Alchemy fabric. I think it's a really, really, really cool color for a Halloween piece. Working on that cobweb. All right. Next up is a Christmas ornament that I am working on for my niece or nephew. I don't know which one. It's a dimensions kit. I bought like 8 of these and I showed them all at on my last video. So if you haven't seen them all, go ahead and go back to the last video because that's where I showed all of these. But here's my first one. I said I was going to start this and I did. I have 3 of these that I have to do, so I need to kind of pick up my pace on them. I was so stitchy Halloween, but this is where I am now on this one. And I really, really like this. It's very easy to stitch it. I had something dark I can put behind it. Let me try this. There we go. I feel like you get a better look at it now. This only took me about an hour and a half to do, so I know that I'll be able to finish this pretty quickly. But I have a bunch of these that I want to do, so I need to get on it. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I had to run downstairs and get this other bag. All right, so the next one, I was hoping to get more done on this Halloween, but I just got caught up doing other things. Was Potions, Spells, and Brews. Or Potions, Brews, and Spells. This came out of the 2016 Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition. This is a black and white picture, I'm sorry. I'm only doing the top and then from here down. And since the last time I showed this, I have gotten all of the words done. This is on Plum by Fiber on a Whim, 32 count Belfast linen. And I'm doing it in $37.99. So I really like it. I was hoping to get a lot more done on this year, but it will show up again. The last Halloween piece, or whip I should say, that I have is Hocus Pocus, I Need Coffee to Focus. This is in the 2021 just cross stitch the 2021 just cross stitch magazine for Halloween. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And these spider webs are killing me. That's really what it is. And I apologize for that glare. It's going to go in my coffee bar when I get it done at Halloween time. And this is where I am now. This is on 28 count Monaco. Just white Monaco. And I really like this, but I messed up on the ease. And so I had to figure out where and fix it. I love the spiders, they're really cute. I did get quite a bit of this done this year. But there's two big cobwebs, and I don't know why, but I struggle with that back stitch. I guess it wouldn't really matter because even if I messed up, nobody else would know but me, but it's kind of bothering me. Oh, I almost didn't show you my focus piece. All right. And then the last whip, I said that was the last whip, but this is the last whip, is Halloween Quaker by Leela Studio. Let me pull up the picture for you. And here is the picture of what it will look like when it's done. I had a lofty goal. I wanted to get 18 motifs done. And I did okay. I got 13 done out of 18. And this is where I am. So I feel pretty accomplished. And I'm going to work on this today and tomorrow too. So I might still hit that goal of 18. We'll see. But it's report cards this week, so there's that. I'm doing this with all the called for colors. There's Fancy Floss and DMC. And it is on 32 count Murky by Picture This Plus. So it is going to be beautiful, and I am really excited to get it done. It will definitely be on my whip go board for next year. All right, so there are all of my whips. That's everything I've worked on in the last month. I feel pretty accomplished. I feel like I did all right. All right, so let's talk about haul. And I have a question for you. All right, so last month I said I was going to give you like a little review of these Anchor rings. They are a tension. They just like slide over. And so today I bought another one. So these were definitely the winner when it comes to ease of use with my floor stand. I feel like this one I can use, I just have a, oh, what is it called? A loops and threads floor stand. So it's not like the most expensive floor stand, and it likes these better than it likes the Q-snaps. Q-snaps are kind of thick. I mean, it will work with a Q-snap, but it definitely grips this a lot better and it's a lot easier to use. And I like this size hoop, but I also like this size hoop too. So this, I also like the oval one too. But the one I bought today is another round one. So I plan to put some project on this. Which one? I'm not sure. Because I have a bunch of Christmas and holiday projects. All right, so here's my question for you. Or actually, let me show you. So I went to Hobby Lobby, which is not my favorite place because I just don't like their business practices. Let's just leave it at that. So I don't shop at Hobby Lobby a lot. But I had to return something that I had purchased back in August, and I needed some floss colors. So while I was there, I just got them. So I came across some new fabric there. Now this is Artiste fabric. This is Weigert. This is 11 by 18, and it's 25 count Lugana, and it's in the color, they call it natural, but it looks like potato. It has the specs and everything, so it's just like potato. So I picked it up. It's not a huge piece. I mean, it's only 11 by 18, so it's not big. But I figured there's some project I can probably put on this. It's a nice neutral, and we all know, like if you've been watching me for a while, that I really like my neutrals. But then this is my question. Not on this fabric, but on this other piece I'm going to show you. So this is also an embroidery cloth. Oh my gosh, I can't put it back in the package. Give up? I'll try again in a minute. So this is an embroidery cloth, it says. It's a Lugana. It is 15 by 18 piece. It is in that same color that natural was in, the specs like potato. But I think this is 40 count, and I don't know for sure because it doesn't tell you on the package. So it doesn't say 40 count Lugana or even weave or whatever. It just says embroidery cloth. Now I know 40 count doesn't usually come in Lugana, like Lugana isn't usually made in 40 count. But I'm pretty sure, looking at the size of these squares, it's got to be 36 or 40. I just don't know. It's super soft. It's really pretty, and I am going to use it for something. I don't know what yet, but I picked it up. I guess it could be 36. I'm not really sure. Anyways, it was only $3.99, so I got some. So maybe you can help me out with that. If you know what the count is, then it would be, I would really appreciate it if you would fill me in. Okay, so now let's talk about plans. I'll be right back. Okay, whew. It's getting a little warm in here, so off went the sweater. All right, so, oh, me and my hair. I have a lot here to go over with you, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. But I wanted to go over and maybe throw some things at you, and we'll see what I can get done and what I can't get done. I'm not going to stress. I'm just going to go with it this year. Anyways, so the first thing that I pulled out is my only Hade. So my husband wanted me to do a full coverage. He's like, I don't know why you're afraid of full coverage. You do all this beautiful stitching. You should not be afraid of full coverage. So I said, well, I'll buy a mini Heaven and Earth Designs, and we'll see how that goes. So I got, Mini Heaven and Nature Sing. It's by Donna Gelsinger. And this is my son picked out. So this is what it will look like when it's done. And I have not worked on it in 10 months. And I'll show you why. Okay, so I got 25 count Easy Grid Lugana for this, and I was gonna do it one full cross over one. And I was doing the parking method, and this is how much I got done, which is like absolutely practically nothing. But I hated this. Now, I hated it for a couple of reasons. One, it's just too small for me to see it. I just can't see it. And so I was like, okay, this isn't working for me. So I picked up a piece of 18 count Ada. From Michaels. It's just loops and threads, 18 count white, and I'm gonna restart that on this, and I think I'm gonna like it a lot better. I can easily see these squares, and I think it's just gonna come out a lot nicer. So that is my plan for that one. So I'm gonna restart this. I don't know when, but I'm gonna restart it. All right, let's look at WIPGO, because that's gonna determine some other things. So the WIPGO numbers that were called for November were just called out, and I think it was like 24. I know for sure 24 was one of them. And was it 2? No, 2 was already called. Let me go look. I'll look right now. Let's go. Go 2022. And 12 and 24 were called. So that means, let's see here, let's look at this. So I met my goal with I must have messed up somewhere because I don't have 23 on this list at all. All right, anyhow, Away We Ride is one of mine. Let me fill in these. Oops, wrong color, that's okay. And Cozy Cardinals, which I did pull out. All right, so Halloween Quaker. I definitely did my fair share of that. So I can fill in those. When was 4 called? Oh, 4 is in December. Okay. Maybe 4 and 23 are in December. That would make sense. Yes, 4 and 23 are in December. That makes sense, because I didn't do those. All right, let's go back to my WIPGO board, and then I'll show it to you. Okay. So remember I moved, so there was a lot of numbers that were called when I was not stitching at all. So I didn't stitch at all really from April, the last week of April until July. I didn't stitch at all because I was so busy getting ready to move. So that's why that happened. So a lot of these projects that I really wanted to start or work on, I just didn't. So, almost 25 called in August. Tonight is Halloween. Definitely did that one. Okay, so I get Away We Ride for 2 months in a row, which I'm really excited about because I didn't work on that at all this Halloween season, and I was like thinking I should have been working on that, so that's going to be a good whip go. The other one is Cozy Cardinals, and I will show you that one first. That is in this pile that I just pulled out. So this is my board. So next year will be a lot better. I'm gonna make a I'm gonna make a bingo. I will have at least one bingo. And when I get a bingo, I get to buy fabric, but I've already bought a whole bunch of fabric, so. Because Afternoon in New York will give me a bingo when I work on that in December. And I will show you that one too, because that's also in this pile. So, next year, we'll have to see what goes on this board. I'm sad that I didn't get to work on Scandinavian Forest more than once. When I do my whip parade in November, because I'm doing my whip parade during Flossmas this year, because I'm going to do Flossmas, which I'm very excited about. Okay, so let's get to this pile of goodies that I have here. So my Heaven and Earth design I went over already. So here are a bunch of my projects. And we'll talk about each one. Okay, so these two I definitely want to work on. So the first one is Countdown to Christmas. This is by Country Cottage Needlework. Both of these are. And I haven't worked on this. I planned to work on this during Christmas in July, but because I didn't stitch Christmas in July because all of my stuff was packed and on a pod in July, I couldn't work on anything Christmassy in July. So this one is on 32 count antique lamb's wool linen, and I am using all the called for DMCs. Just hold that, and this is where I am right now on it. So it needs love. And the other one that's in this is also a Country Cottage Needleworks Christmas piece. Put this in here. And this one is coming along nicely. This is Santa's Sampler. And I love this one. And this is where I am on this one. This one is on a piece of 32 count I believe this is also on antique lamb's wool, but it's a slightly lighter shade. This one's really nice and it's coming along really well. Again, I was hoping that I would have these done in July this year, but since I didn't stitch in July, you know, there's that. So there's these two pieces that I want to be working on. All right, next up, I have to finish these because these are a Christmas gift. So I did, this is on 18 count. Is it oatmeal? No, it's not. I can't remember the name of the color. I got this at, it's Swigert. I got this at Hobby House Needleworks. I just can't remember the color right now. But anyways, these are from Darling and Whimsy Designs. They are their, her mythical creatures. So there's the Bigfoot, and then the Loch Ness, and then that's the unicorn. And I am making these as ornaments for our Christmas tree, and they are for my children. So I just, my 16-year-old doesn't believe in anything like this, like, could exist, and it may not exist. I mean, it could very well not exist. Believe me, I'm aware of that. But the fact of the matter that he doesn't believe that it could exist, like, I don't know, it kind of hurts me a little bit, like, just to have that gone, that piece of, like, adventure and the unknown just kind of gone already in him, and for him to be so cynical about stuff, it just, so I'm making these for the kids. Alright, next up is Truck Snow Globe by Shannon Christine Designs. I'd like to get some work done on this. And I've had this for a couple of years, so it's one of my oldest whips. And I just want to get it done. I'm not sure that I have enough fabric for it. I might have to make some concessions. I'm really hoping that I do that. I'm doing this on 25 count, Vintage Stormy Night. So we'll see. The Krynick has been driving me up the wall. But I don't know. You know what I might do with this? I might actually restart it. Now that I'm looking at it, I might restart it. We'll see. We'll see what I decide to do. Anyways, it's all called for DMCs, and I do have the beads for it too. And I'm not so sure about beading, but I do have them. I ordered them, so I have them. Alright, next up is a little elf. These come out of the World of Cross Stitch magazine, and I love them, love them, love them. It's a little elf, mouse elf. I've not started him yet, but I do have all of the colors to start him, and he is completely kitted up. And then the other one that's kitted up in here, and that I did start, is this guy that I would like to finish. Get him out of here. Okay. And that is this little pilgrim mouse. I have no idea which ones these came out of, but this is where I am on him so far. These are really cute, and they don't take very long, and this is on 14 count Ada. And the other one's going on 14 count Ada as well. I mean, it's kitted up and ready to go. I just need to work on it. That's all. Like I said, I don't know what of these I'm going to get to this Christmas or holiday season, but I just pulled out everything that said holiday to me, and I'm just showing it to you. And we'll see what happens. Alright, next up is International Santas. This is a pattern that I got out of the the calendar for the year 2000, and it was a Better Homes and Gardens Keepsake cross-stitch calendar. And so I don't have a cover picture, but I don't think you'll be able to steal it. And if you can, I mean, this pattern is like a million years old and there's absolutely no author listed, so I have no idea who even designed it to give them credit. This is on 32 count Whisper Lugana, and I love this. This is a very, very, very easy stitch. This was called in January on WhipGo. So I have a lot done. First two Santas done. Except for his staff. He needs a staff. But I'm going to keep working on this, hopefully. Get some more of this done. What time is it? 5:30. I gotta go make dinner in a minute. I'm having chili. I'm gonna clean the kitchen. Do some dishes. I want to do some baking. I got a brand new KitchenAid mixer yesterday, so I'm very excited. I've had one before, but my other one broke. So, and I know you can get them repaired, but I don't know where. All right, this was a Christmas gift from my son last year. This is Lizzie Kate and Merry Friends, Santa 2003. My son gave me this for Christmas last year, so I kitted it up and it is ready to go in this project bag. I just have not started it yet, so maybe I might start that. All right, so these are gifts for my kids, so I definitely need to work on these. I'd like to get them out of my whip collection. So the first one is IGO Creations. It is Star Wars, Star characters. I got this from Etsy. I'm doing Boba Fett, Darth Vader, Chewie, and Luke. And he asked me if I have room, if I could put R2-D2 on it. This, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I just do not like this one. But it is going on a piece of 28 count. Yes, 28 count Legacy cash-out linen. And I'm sorry, this is how much I love this. It's all wrinkly, but the Chewbacca was like so horrible to stitch. It is so confetti heavy and I kept losing my place, and I'm sure there's a million mistakes in there, but I did not care. I was just happy that he was done. So I have to work on this and get this done. And then this is a present for my daughter, and I just noticed that this is going to come up in WhipGo in December, which is good. I'd like to get this done too. This is called Afternoon in New York. It's by Cottage Garden, or Country Cottage Needleworks. I did Afternoon in Paris for her a couple of years ago. And I just realized that I think I'm missing a color on this. I think that's why I had to stop. I'm going to figure out what color it is. Anyways, I have a lot of it done. So this I'm pretty sure I can definitely finish by Christmas. I have a lot of it done. I'm doing this on 25 count Vintage Stormy Night Lugana. And I am doing it that way because that's what I did Paris on. And I wanted it to be the same size as the other one. So there's that one. So these two I'm definitely leaving out because I definitely have to work on these. This one, and then the unicorn have to stay out. Okay, up next is Brooks Books Publishing. These are her Advent animals. And I have finished, except for backstitch, Katie Kitty. And then here's Peter Pol. Oh, I just dropped my needle. I'm gonna have to find that. And here's Peter Polar Bear. He's almost done. So I'm gonna finish them, and then I have Mary Mouse next and Duncan Dog. I'd like to at least get some progress on this. It's been a couple of years. It's been a couple of years since I've worked on this, so I would definitely like to get some progress in on this. And you can still get those. I was on the website last night downloading more of the patterns from Brooks Books Publishing. It's under freebies. All right. Next up is It's the Most Wonderful Feast of the Year. I'm going to absolutely pull this out. This one's going to stay out, so I can work on this. This I'm putting on a piece of 18 count Ada. It's Time. The color is Time. And I'm doing this 1/1, right? Yes, 1/1. And I made a mistake in it, but that's okay. I'm just gonna keep going. All the called for DMCs. So this one's gonna definitely stay out because I'm definitely gonna work on that. Cozy Cardinals was just called in Wicco. Here it is. It's in the 2020 December issue of Just Cross Stitch. Okay. So this is really close to a finish. So I might be able to finish this. This is my oldest whip. It is on a piece of 25 count ice blue, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, it's almost done. I love it. This one is also going to be very close to the edge, but that's okay. So this is my other Wicco project that was called, and I also have to go get Away We Ride so that you can see that one, because that one is called as well. That's in my closet. I'll get that in a minute. So this one's staying out because that got called for Wicco. Next up, Stitching with the Housewives. Trucking Along, December. I didn't buy all of these. I only bought a few. So here's December. Trucking Along. I am doing this on a piece of 14 count. Oh no, not 14 count. 32 count charcoal. This is on a piece of linen. I think this is, pretty sure this is Witchold. I'm not really sure. It's kind of stiff, so I think it might be. Anyways, there's my progress so far. Definitely like this. I don't love how dark that green is. It makes it a little bit hard to see. I guess you can see it in person okay. Anyways, the whole top is done. So, oh, except for a few ornaments in the trees. So I guess we are ready to move down. I'd like to get some progress in on that. But that's in the maybe pile. That's in the maybe pile. Let's see what I have time for. I said I have a lot of projects. When I get to my whip parade, you'll see. This one I'm definitely finishing. This one is Baker Snowflakes. It is by Hello from Liz Matthews. I told myself I wasn't buying another one of her patterns until I finished this one, and so I'm about to order Gather because I'm almost done with this. I'm doing this blue one with the called for silk. And really the only reason that this isn't done is because I just haven't worked on it. I mean, you're gonna be laughing at where it is. All right. And there it is. Can I finish this? Definitely. Definitely. It is almost done. It is so beautiful. This was my first time ever working on 32 count, and this is on blue azure. And it was so hard for me to see at first. And now all I stitch on is 32 count. So there's that. I didn't think I was ever going to be able to stitch on 32 count. And now it's all I stitch on for the most part. I mean, I'm going to be stitching some 40 count. So I've come a long way. A really long way. Okay. So what is next? This I'm going to keep in my definitely pile. All right. This is what's next. All right, so I have to choose which ornaments I want for my nieces. I like the Santas. So maybe this one. Or this one. I bought like 8 of these. They were so inexpensive on 1, 2, 3 Stitch. They were like $6 a piece. Full kits. Oh, I do like this reindeer though, too. So I might change it up a little bit. I hope there's no foul language in that song. Anyways, I apologize. It's my 16-year-old's music. So, yeah. I need to do some of these. It came in this huge envelope from 1, 2, 3 Stitch. All right, then the other thing that I need to do is this. And I'm stitching this for my husband. He does not know. I hope that that music is appropriate for my video.
That's not my music. That is, but it's Dylan's choice of playing that.
Okay. All right, so I am stitching this stocking for my husband. I got this on Etsy and it's from Happy Nest. HAPPINESST. So there's the stocking. I'm going to stitch him. And I am doing this on a 25 count Lori Holt fabric. Parchment maybe? Anyways, I have no progress because I haven't started it yet, but that is what is going on this. So I'm going to be starting that. That's a have to. Then I also have all these other things that I want to start and want to get. Like I have a couple of Christmas projects that are in there that I didn't even pull out to show you. There are just so many cute patterns. And there's so many that I want to buy. Like that's really where I struggle to. Is that I would like to buy some more patterns. I don't know. We'll have to see. We shall see, we shall see. Oh, I showed you these, but I definitely want to start these too. Oh, goodness gracious. And I bought these because they were so adorable. Luminous Fiber Arts. So this one is Mousecapades. It's like a whole series. This one's Trimming the Tree. That's number 6. And I bought 2 to start. I bought number 1 and number 6, Mice on Ice. Plus I have Frosty Forest. Oh my goodness. I have a lifetime of stitching ahead of me if I'm going to finish all of this stuff. I mean, I just know that I probably am not going to finish all of it, but I definitely enjoy it. I definitely enjoy it very, very much. But I've been so good about not buying too many patterns because last year I bought a ton of patterns, and so this year I've been really good about not buying too much and keeping my stash kind of like lower. Finish some, get my whips down a little bit before I start a whole lot more. So, well, there's that for today. I hope that everybody has a great stitchy week. I appreciate you. Please like and subscribe. Hit the little bell, I think, the notification bell, so that you get notified when I come on again. I hope to build my channel to at least 500 subscribers, so if you would like to share me with your friends and family, anybody that likes to stitch, I would appreciate your share and your like, and please, please, please send me some comments because I would really like to get to know some of you all, and this community is it's just so welcoming, and I just am so thankful and grateful that I get to be a part of it. So if you know the count of that fabric that I showed, that artiste fabric, I would love to know what it is. Other than that, I hope that everybody has a great week, and I will hopefully be back next weekend. Bye now.